Okay, we're live. Okay, hey John, what's going on, man? Hey, ZozoCat, good to see you again. Hey everybody, welcome to World Comedy Studios, live from Los Angeles, California. Hey T. Humphrey, my dog Freckles is hanging out and is sure to become a nuisance, but we'll just deal with it. So guys, if you're new here, there you go, butt scooting on the carpeting, fantastic. If you're new here, we are like an online comedy club. In fact, we are an online comedy club. And this is our version of an open mic. So we're very happy that you're here to see comedians work out their material. Don't worry about being a critic. Just have fun and be a fan and enjoy the process. So, and if you're not following us here on Periscope yet, follow us. We do live comedy here every fucking day. Excuse my French, but I want to let you know that there might be some adult language, okay? Thank you very much for inviting followers. Anybody who invites a follower is a good friend of mine, automatically. At any point today, thanks Omega Monster, at any point today you can go to worldcomedy.club. You see that big blue button up there? You can press it and you can pay any of the comedians that you see today. Thanks Reeds for inviting followers, I appreciate that. Okay, so here we go, cool mom. Everybody ready? Our first comedian, you've seen him a lot over the last 3 days, because he's basically been living here with me, not literally, but setting up a lot of awesome technology, helping us here at the studio. Also a very funny comedian. So please welcome Brian Renneker.
How's everybody doing? Periscope, how's it going? Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2016, that's cool. I'm on social media, and I realized the other day that like December 31st, the amount of times that I used a particular hashtag, like it more than made up for my deficiency of like, I don't use in common everyday tweets the hashtag ball drop, but I think I used it like 7 times on New Year's, and I think I'm good for like the rest of the year. Social media is weird. Social media is like it's still like a new concept. Like, I mean, in the scope of previous generations didn't have a social media. They didn't have cell phones, and it made me realize. I mean, previous generations, our grandparents, they could tell us anything. And they could tell their friends anything when they were like young, and it was just taken at face value. It was believed immediately. You could say, you could be a god according to the stories that you tell, and everyone just had to, according to all of the references that they have to go check, you are 100% correct. My grandmother could have told me like, hey, do you know, one time I made out with Ronald Reagan at like a Jimi Hendrix Peace concert. All right, cool. According to everything I have to fact check that against, you are 100% true. Like, that is, I can't do that. I can't, everything that I do is in some way or another recorded on the internet forever. I can't say, I was doing like important, meaningful things in my life in November, beginning of November, like 2015, I was doing cool stuff, because immediately everyone is able to look on Facebook and go, nope. You were in a theater with Shia LaBeouf, watching Shia LaBeouf watch Shia LaBeouf movies for 36 hours straight. You were doing absolutely nothing with your life. There's nothing that you were doing like of importance. I feel like that's a shitty thing to complain about. Like that's a super modern problem. That's a first world problem. All that I have is first world problems, so I get to complain about that. But like, okay. So another thing that has never been an issue, and it's a lot bigger issue than we talk about because no one's talking about it. I found myself just outside of St. Louis needing to use the restroom, and the nearest place was a truck stop, and that truck stop was it was off the road. And I got there and I sat down and I needed to occupy time, so I pulled out my phone, started browsing Reddit. It's a common thing. You smartphone while you're shitting. That's like that's a regular practice. However, when you find something and you go, oh, I should save that for later, and you screen cap that, I don't know if you're a smartphone user, but that then makes a camera taking a picture noise, which became an issue for me when the man in the stall next to me goes, "The fuck was that?" And then a trucker tried to enter the stall that I was in. That was not an okay experience for me. I do. I spend a lot of time on the road. I have to find ways to like occupy myself, and I've realized that like one of my favorite things in the world, on the road or not, but my favorite thing, and it arose just out of me needing to occupy time, but my favorite thing is billboards. Like, they're the greatest. They're the best things that have ever been invented. Other means of like advertisements, they have to go through way too much censorship. It's way too much work to get something out there. Billboards, all of us in here could have our own billboard. Everyone on Periscope, you can have a billboard like tomorrow. Just go and make that happen. There's no one that will stop you. Other commercials, like as soon as you can just like cuss freely, like as soon as Rayback releases a commercial that's still like, fuck Duracell, we kick ass. I am a lifelong Duracell like patron. That's the only battery I'm ever gonna buy. But billboards, they can basically already do that. There's a billboard in Indiana that is a shining example of just like there's no one watching what's going out to billboards. It's because there's a highway in Indiana, and I had to do a U-turn 4 times because I was a little bit overwhelmed the first 3. Because there's just a naked man pinning down a naked lady in 30 by 30, and the only words are, you know she wants it. That's just rape. That's just rape on the side of the road. That's just a rape billboard. On the 4th time, I realized it's for a jewelry store. That's a jewelry store ad. There's a ring in the bottom corner and the logo for like the jewelry store. No one at that jewelry store said, hey, I know it's a great idea, your billboard, but you know, maybe we don't just put up, you know, rape on the side of the road. Maybe there's a better billboard. But I don't know. I like that idea that billboards they're basically like still the Wild West. So I just got to LA, and I just got to California. And it's the first time that I've like lived here while I've been like financially independent and like on my own. And I came in through the north. I was up in Portland, and I went straight to San Francisco, and I left my car for like 30 minutes, and I went and I got a lobster roll at Pier 39, and I came back. Somebody had busted out my window and stolen like all of my shit. I was living in my car, like all of my stuff was gone. So that was like super shitty. It was near the end of this 2 months. I was living on the road and doing shows, and I had like gone unbothered by anything bad happening until San Francisco. And I got there and I was like, fuck, what do I do? So I called the police and I was like, hey, my car just got broken into. And they said, oh, you were burgled. Which was like insult to injury, because that's an adorable word. Burgled? Like, that sounds adorable. It is the least adorable act that could ever happen to you. Like, if I had been able to fill out the police report and just like, it had been a little bit more accurate, I think I would have been a lot less upset at just the fact that shittiness had happened. If I had just been able to fill out like, hey, I'd like to report somebody broke in and like I just got fucked. If that was like the criminal term for having like a burglary accord, like, oh, you just got fucked. Like that'd feel a lot better. Like I just got like some cocksuckling just occurred in my life. Like somebody I don't know. There needs to be a better term than burgled. But it's what I've got for you guys today. I'm going to turn it back to Aaron. Thanks.
All right, Brian Reniger. Guys, you're here live at World Comedy Studios in Los Angeles, California. Go to worldcomedy.club. You know what you're going to see, Witchy Woman? You're going to see that right there. That's our website. And tons of stuff you can do on there. One, that big blue button up there, you can pay Brian or any of the comedians you see now. There, you can kind of scroll through and find some comedians you like and read about them, read their profiles, and even sign up for their email lists. And right there on the bottom, that is our email list. And everyone's been asking how you can follow us on YouTube. And we're launching YouTube in the next week or so. That's really the only way you're going to be able to follow us. Because for the first month of YouTube, they give you like this big, giant, garbled URL. And there's no way that I can share that with you guys here. So I'm going to email it to the people that are on our email list. And they'll be the very first followers on our YouTube channel. Now, this week is a very special week because my wife's out of town, which sounds like, you know, crazy shit's going to happen. But no, I'm just taking care of my dog, who has been a little too quiet. So I'm just going to take a break and see what he's doing. Where is my dog?
In the waiting room. Just check.
Oh, he's being a good boy.
Right?
Good boy hanging out in our waiting room. All right, Freckles, good boy. All right. Oh, no, he's eating something. You jerk. I knew it. He's eating a pen.
A pen?
He's eating a pen. hang on. We have to take care of the comedy dog for a second. He lives to eat shit and to get treats for stealing things. He's a hunting dog, basically. Don't try to take it from him. Oh, okay. You're just scratching his butt. All right. Excuse me, Brian. Drop it. Got treats for you. Do you like the pen more than the treats? He's writing a joke. Funny. Freckles. Look over the pen. You are such a jerk. All right, whatever. Don't eat it. All right. This is where I normally Periscope from here. When you guys see my comedy teacher answers only dumb question. Dog ate my stand-up routine. That's right, exactly. All right. So how many other comedy places does that happen, guys? We're gonna take a break to find out your dog's eating something. Okay, so let's move on. Your next comedian here, it's his first time here, hopefully not his last. Please welcome Cooper Lee.
Hey, hello. Get this out of the way. Happy New Year, guys. Good afternoon, Periscopers. I never done it in front of a live audience like online, but hope you guys enjoy. My name is Cooper, obviously. Happy New Year. I celebrate New Year's on a bad note. I woke up pretty late and realized all the things I bought were bad mistakes overnight. I spent way too much on drinks, spent way too much on just Uber rides, and I just realized it was a bad mistake. So hope you guys had a way better one than me. Growing up, I grew up in a family where they told me a lot of truths about myself. I think that one of the things that they told me was that I was born through C-section. My mom told me that I was born through C-section. She was just disappointed that I wasn't born through the A-section. Weird, right? I also grew up in a family business. I grew up in family business. My dad was very efficient at being a boss. All at once, you know, he fired me and grounded me at the same time. Something on my mind lately is about how I wish Asians in the mainstream movie roles had the chick. So far, all the big movies that I've seen with Asian guys, especially growing up, they didn't really have like the prize. Usually I see like Bruce Lee fighting off ninjas and fighting off all these evildoers. Ends up going home, not really much going on, not much action. But then I also like watch like Super Mario, just jumping over turtles and fighting through things, and it ends up with a beautiful blonde princess. I'm like, why can't an Asian guy have that in the mainstream media? So I'm hoping to work on that. So I was walking down the sidewalk and I gave a homeless guy $1, and I thought he was gonna spend on food, so I just wanted to make sure, you know, you're not gonna spend it on alcohol, are you? And he's like, no, I have some right here. All right. So because of online dating, right, we all have an increased chance of getting STDs. Just using the mobile phone, we actually get the STD called swiping thumb disease. Actually, I had my first and last background acting gig here in LA. My first and last background acting gig. I realized it wasn't for me when I realized my job competition was just a cactus plant. I could be just replaced with the cactus plant all the time. My roommate, I live with 2 roommates. They really think that they're saving time by eating microwave dinners all the time, you know, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They think that they're just speeding through the cooking process. But I see them all the time and they're just sitting on the toilet most of the day, just clogging it up. So a girl I used to date told me that she wasn't so happy about the size, right? The size of my Mini Cooper down there. But in my defense, I think that it would be small just because her vagina walls are like the size of, you know, the Great Wall of China. Let's see. Growing up, you know, I went through all that hell. Just had a lot of rough time, you know, growing up Asian, finding out a lot of bad things happened, expectations, going to a job I didn't like. I realized, you know, if I died and went to hell, it would take me a while to realize that this was actually hell. It took me like 3 weeks or something. I think the term it takes a lot of balls to do something gotta be rephrased. Like someone said that being a transvestite takes a lot of balls just to go through the process. I don't think so, because to become a transvestite you gotta remove your balls, figuratively and literally. So how does that? I don't think that applies basically. So when a mime gets arrested, right? If a cop just arrests him, is the cop obligated to say, do you have the right to remain silent? Is that? I hope so. Actually, that's all I want to run through you guys today. Hope you guys appreciate it. Thank you guys very much for your time. Thank you.
All right, Cooper Lee, fantastic, dude. Guys, you're watching World Comedy Studios. Go to worldcomedy.club. Guys, Cooper just started doing comedy a little while ago. If you want to give him a little bit of, like a high five and throw him a couple of bucks, go up there to that big blue button, says support a comedian, and you can pay Cooper. Just let me know that you want to pay him, because he's not a member here. And I say yet. One of the people watching on Periscope thinks you're very cute.
Oh, word. Why are you laughing?
and she looks cute too.
You're laughing.
Bucks
You don't think so?
Hell no.
He disagrees. Hey, why does he disagrees?
So if you watch the video, she just said me.
Oh, hey.
See?
Nice to meet you.
She's up top.
Hey. Hello.
There you go. So you can watch the video and get Periscope and follow her. And that's how you guys met and got
Can I
married.
double check that?
She has to say something else to... he's not on here
I
yet.
bet she's very cute too.
Love and light. That's what she said.
Hey.
Here, I'll open up her profile for you. Let's make a love connection right here. Come on.
Word.
Let's do it. Her name is Shay. That's a nice name. Oh, but
Shay,
the picture's not coming up. Anyway, all
I'm
right.
sure you're cute, Shay.
And a comedian from the UK says that he's already your groupie.
Oh, word.
So
Okay,
there you
awesome.
go.
That's
Love
awesome.
it for
Hey, I'll
scope.
be your groupie.
Love it for scope, says Monica, whose picture is her butt, basically. Which and her butt's fantastic, so I'm sure she has a beautiful face as well. All right. She's not just the butt to me, guys. She's one of our followers and friends. Do you want to give it a go? You don't have to.
How many minutes are there? I'm not signed up.
Up to 5?
I want to be signed up. I want to do that.
Hey, you leave it. All right, no worries. So, guys, that was it. Now, why don't we do? Coop, do you have a couple minutes to hang out?
Yeah, of course I can hang out.
So, why don't we do a couple of minutes and do like a Q&A with Cooper?
Oh man.
And so let's ask him questions. So it's cool. We always have comics here, but we don't always have brand new comics here. So you can ask questions to me about comedy in general, or we can ask questions to Cooper about his comedy, or and for the person asking me to do a set, that is the first series we're going to release on YouTube. Is me doing stand-up based on your suggestions. You subscribe. You tell me what you want me to do. And if I pick your topic, I'm going to write about that all that week. And the very next week, I'll put the new setup on YouTube. So, how long have you been doing your art, Cooper? That's what Lux asks.
Doing the art like actively about 4 weeks, like every day, writing and going open mics.
That's what I said.
I've been a fan of comedy since I was very little, since my dad watched comedy. He saw comedy movies. I fell in love with Jim Carrey, Seinfeld. Especially the Kramer, they just make me fall in love with comedy, and I just want to do it, and I just have the nerve to do it. I just built up a lot of courage, I guess, to do it just recently, because I just didn't like where my life was going, and I realized, life is short, so I should go deep, balls to the wall in, and so.
You talk about balls a lot, just saying that, just, it's a lot of balls in your words. And obviously he meant transgendered, not or trans, not transvestite.
I apologize. I gotta work on that.
I mean, give him a break, guys. So, who are some of your comic influences?
Oh, of course. In the '90s, Sinbad. I love Sinbad. Jim Carrey, Eddie, Carlin. Usually the big, well-known ones. But currently, I'm just listening to newer ones, like the new up and comers like Carmichael, Burr.
Well, I don't know if you can consider Bill Burr. I mean, he's a newcomer as far as he's been around for the last 10 years or so.
Yeah,
But
I guess within this decade, the 10 years span.
when you sell at Madison Square Garden, I think you're no longer a newcomer.
Oh. Yeah, well, he caught my attention recently, so I'm just listening to
Yeah.
everything he's doing. So I have a lot of influences just growing up,
Right.
and then taking it very seriously. Now I just starting to hear new comedians, and
Right.
they're killing
That's
it.
cool. Yeah, not Daniel, but one of the guys said Daniel Balshin, who's one of our also new comedians here, is his favorite comedian. So
Oh, in LA?
no, he's a member of the studio
Oh,
here.
member studio, okay.
By the way, Cooper has a new fan. It's Freckles, just hanging out here. Comedians are born funny. You can't be funny. Nothing further from the truth, North Philly Kane. And if you are truly a fan of comedy, you're really disrespecting all the comedians that have worked for decades
Hell
to
yeah.
craft their art. So, think again.
Phew.
Do you think that clean comedy is the way to go? I'll answer that one. I think it doesn't matter. You have to do what you like, right? So if you like clean comedy, go for it. If you like telling people to go fuck themselves, then go for that too. But just make it good, which I know is a general statement, but you got it, Lux. But, try to do the smartest, best comedy you can, whether you're using words that some people find objectionable, most people find objectionable, or you're totally clean. What else, guys? If I missed your question, you can ask again.
Being
Sometimes
clean is hard, though, right?
What is?
Isn't clean, like just being 100% clean, really, really, really hard?
It's wordplay to me.
It's wordplay.
Yeah, I mean, if you start with, if you start out doing a lot of dirty stuff and then you have to change it, I mean, it's the same thing as like changing your diet. It's hard.
Oh.
You're in a habit.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's any harder than anything else.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know how old you are.
Me?
Yeah,
24.
24. Jim Gaffigan is very clean. Yeah,
Gaff, yeah.
Yeah, Gaffigan's very clean, and I was thinking about this morning because I know Jim, and Jim took comedy classes at the beginning of his career. So Jim Gaffigan, to me, when people ask me my favorite comic working now, it's Jim Gaffigan. And he wasn't born funny. He worked at it very hard.
Yeah, you can tell. He covers the area of food.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
His topics on food are so deep and so multi perspective, like multi-dimensional. And like no other comic can do that. Like he covers food. I think he's got the food base covered.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can't. The way he talks about bacon or like the guilt he feels about eating what do you call it, like a donut or something. Like
Right.
it's just legend. That's
he's great. And somebody said that after Richard Pryor, a lot of comedians just decided that I'm going to curse and be funny. And I think that's true because a lot of new comics don't get it, that they don't really understand what they're watching. So, like, there's a comic in New York, Mike Yard. Super, super funny. He's on Larry Wilmore's show right now. And the guy, when you watch him, he looks like he's just having a conversation. And he's not just having a conversation. He's been doing comedy for well over 20 years. And everything he's doing, like, he's built up that craft. He's built up the material. He's built up the stage presence. And comics see him and they go, I'm going to be like that. I'm not going to write any material.
No.
And I'm like, no, dude, you're not understanding what's going on. He just looks like he's having a conversation, but that shit is written.
Yeah.
And so the same thing with like dirty comics, where someone's like, oh, I'm just going to say a curse, and that's going to be funny. And that's not the case. RP was hysterical even without the F-bombs. Richard Pryor. Right, exactly. Richard Pryor could be funny no matter what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He told the truth a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't scared to tell the truth about his life. So when you get up there and you start telling the truth about your life and you don't explore as much cuss words, I mean, you don't have to go out there, MF, F this, AS,
Yeah.
It's the way to say it. You have to wordplay everything. In clean comedy, just like you said, Jim. If you listen to what Jim say, how deep he is, or who's before him? Before Richard Pryor, the one guy, the fat guy, it really taught Richard Pryor how to cuss. Had long hair.
The fat guy with long hair.
White guy, fat, had long hair. He was the first guy that really got doing all the cussing, and he got kicked out of a lot of clubs.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you do. He's a legend.
You're not talking about Lenny Bruce.
Bingo.
Lenny Bruce wasn't fat, and he didn't have long hair.
Buddy Hackett was.
Well, he was chubby.
Lenny Bruce? Not from what I've seen.
Well, I'm just saying. Well,
Not
pictures
Bruce
I said,
Valanche.
okay.
Okay.
Well, he was the first one that I see. When I watch old tapes and looking at him.
Okay.
How he cussed a lot, but didn't really just splur and hurt your feelings. You laughed at what he cussed at.
Mhm.
Like with Richard Pryor, you laughed at what he cussed. You know, you used to go in some places where they just cuss all the time. You'd be embarrassed, like, oh,
No,
that's
Kinnison
terrible.
came after Pryor.
I thought he came before.
Kinnison? No.
Well, who am I thinking about?
I don't know what you're thinking about.
Now I'm gonna have to Google him because I know what I'm talking about. He always wears a little hat like he was a painter.
That's Sam Kinnison, but
Oh,
Kinnison
okay.
did not come before Pryor.
He didn't?
No, I don't think so. I
I
don't.
thought he
80s and
did.
90s.
I'd be very surprised if Kinnison was teaching Pryor comedy. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Kinnison may have been around, but no, he's.
I thought he did. I maybe got
No,
false
Kinnison was
information.
after Pryor.
Okay, but he was. Well, I liked him too. Like I
No,
like.
Kinnison
I
was
love
great.
storytellers. Like Ron White is like one of my top.
Yeah,
three
Ron
comics.
White's awesome. Ron
He's
White's
like-
actually been on our scope here, not live, but he's like joined the scope.
'Cause
And
he's
that was
funny.
cool.
I
He's in the
mean,
blue collar too?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, shit, he's
a
yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
You sit there and just listen to how he tells stories.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ski.
Yeah.
He makes it sound so effortless, like he's
Yeah.
coming off his head.
And he's
I-
cussing, but the way he tells it,
The writing,
You
the
not-
writing's
yeah.
amazing, right?
Yeah. So, are there any topics that you don't want to touch?
Well, being new, there's certain things you don't want to talk about, like
Hey, get out of there. Sorry. Freckles, get out of there. Be a good boy. Sit. Good boy. Stay. Good boy.
well, for me, as someone starting out, there's stuff I don't want to go into that I don't know much about. I guess like other people's religion, their what they really believe in. I can't really go into that just yet. Those are the stuff I just don't want to touch on. It's just on an experience level. Like I can't go there because I'm not
But-
experienced in that.
Swag, when you say you don't like to speak on behalf of another group, I kind of sort of understand that, but the thing is that when you're in the majority and when you have minorities that are, well, in the minority, you have to speak up on them, about them, like with gay rights. I mean, gay rights, that's a vast minority, right? But until the majority started speaking out about it, nobody really cared. Same thing with, for Muslims now who are Freckles is going to join the conversation too.
He wants to be on camera.
Yeah, I mean, with like Donald Trump and the anti-Muslim shit, like unless we speak out about it, then we're sort of part of the problem, But I get what you mean, and that's your choice. Like I don't generally talk about political stuff in my act, not so far anyway. But Freckles is a fan of Cooper. Yeah, it looks like Freckles has it. Freckles does this at home where he goes up on the kitchen cabinet or the kitchen counter. It looks like he's a bartender.
Wow.
I'm gonna guess that we're all Dave Chappelle fans.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to find stuff. If you don't like Dave Chappelle, it's kind of like somebody saying I don't like music. Like, have you ever come across somebody that's like I don't like music?
I've seen somebody that said they didn't like him, didn't think he was funny at all.
All right,
And I was like, are you serious? Like, none of his sketches made you
that was
laugh?
a comedian.
Yeah.
All right.
He did not think he was funny. And I was like, wow. But I'll tell you one person I didn't think was funny until I seen him live. That was Dan Cook.
Dang,
Mhm.
yeah.
I did not think he was funny at all until I seen him in person.
That was
See the
like
way
me. That was like me and Larry the Cable Guy, right? Like my friend actually dated Larry the Cable Guy early on, and invited me to go see him in New York, and I was like, "Fuck this!" And then I saw him, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
He was fucking amazing live. Same thing with Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall. They were amazing, and then we hung out with them afterwards, and they were so cool. So yeah, even if it's not like we've talked about Joan Rivers the last couple of days.
Oh.
Joan Rivers was amazing as a comedian.
Yeah.
Not my demographic. Like that's not the kind of stuff. Yeah, Dan Whitney. That's not the kind of stuff that I was into. Like I'm not an older woman or a gay man but I can appreciate the fact that Joan Rivers worked amazingly hard. That her jokes were great. But if I had a choice between seeing her and seeing somebody else, I might see somebody else. Especially now that she died.
If you see her now, boy.
And Jeremy, I'm sure she was amazing in concert, but not my cup of tea. But man, I mean, yeah, she was funny as hell, and as a comedian, she was one of the best. You know, a lot of people say Joey Diaz, and I've never seen Joey Diaz, but I think so many people ask me about him that I'm guessing he's onto something.
Yeah, cocksucker. Right. There was a question about what topic you don't want to cover or something at the meeting. The two I thought about was like I wouldn't talk anything about people who passed or people who can't defend themselves.
See, that's what it comes down to.
Those are the two that I can't do anything. Like, I can make fun of Donald Trump all day.
Right.
But I'm not going to make fun of, let's say, like something negative, like I want to bring humor to it, but like something really like put down on people like with disabilities or
right.
or the sick or the poor. Like,
right.
I'm not going to go there.
See, that exactly, punch up. And that's what we've talked about a lot here rather than punch down, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's good that you've already gotten that, because it's not that you can't talk about a topic, right? It's just that how are you going to talk about that topic? Like somebody said, don't ever do rape jokes. And yeah, I mean, you can't get almost more sensitive than that or insensitive than that, but it depends on how you talk about it. If you talk about rape and you kind of punch at the rapists and punch at like frat boys who think it's okay to like, you know, have their way with a girl just because like he bought her a drink, that's okay to talk about that. If you're making fun of the victims, then you're an asshole.
Joan Rivers talked about rape, because she's been raped, and she talks about it. She got in one of her stand-ups. If you hear
with audience member or something.
Yeah, with audience, she was talking about rape, and people was getting mad, but she told them like, "Hey, I've been raped, so I can talk about this."
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. TJ Starbucks, I don't think that's true.
She
said no. She said no means yes, yes means anal. Yeah. So you know, but if you know, anyway, comedy has to be a bit uncomfortable. It certainly can be. And when people, like, we had a guy in here last night who was a pastor, and when I say in here, I mean on Periscope, and we had a comic who was cursing a bit, and he said don't use as many swear words or something, and I said he can say whatever he wants to say, and he goes, that's just my opinion. I said, and that's my answer. Yeah. You know. Hang on a second. Hang on, guys. That is not a good sound. Hang on. You're taking a mini tour of World Comedy Studios while I get to see what my dog is destroying. All right, he's just hanging out in the carpeting. He's like, what? What'd I do?
So that's the reason why I wanted to get the feel of it before I get on.
No, rape jokes are not great. It just depends. Look, it just depends on how you. Cooper had the exact right answer, right? He has toys here. Cooper has the exact right answer, which is basically punch up, not punch down. Yeah. That's what it is. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. It's been an awesome conversation. If you're not already following us, that's Jimmy, by the way. He decided to come and hang out and check the place out.
I will be back.
Cool. If you're not following us yet, guys, you should here on Periscope. We are World Comedy Studios. We do this shit all the time. And what you guys should do right now is go to worldcomedy.club, head on halfway down the page to the email list sign up. And guys, you need to get on the email list. Not only will we send you some perks and exclusive content, but we'll also email you the YouTube URL so you can be one of our first YouTube subscribers. And that will hold a special place in my heart. All right, guys, we'll be back later tonight at 8 o'clock Pacific with more comedy. Oh, and I should say, too, if you're interested in performing here at World Comedy Studios or becoming a student, I have taught comedy for the last 20 years. I've taught comedy at Princeton University. I've coached comedians on MTV. I have students all around the world. And if you're interested, my email is on the profile here on Periscope. Feel free to email me and say hello. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Take care.